Let's move to the next question. Food poverty, in the name of Assembly Member Twycross.
Yes, thanks, Fiona. This is difficult to quantify, but if obviously much malnutrition amongst elderly people may be associated with illnesses of one kind or another that they have. But clearly it is, insofar as it is caused by, as far as malnutrition, under-eating is caused by poverty, then it is absolutely unacceptable. And we are working to make London a zero hunger city by 2020, as you know. But I mean, the malnutrition task force estimates that 1 in 10 people over 65 are malnourished or at risk of being malnourished, and that is a huge figure. So that would be about 98,000 people. So that shows the extent of the potential problem.
Yes, I mean, thank you for that, and I welcome the work that the Food Board's been doing in highlighting issues around food and malnutrition in London. In regards of older people and malnutrition, I just wanted to highlight the fact that there's a real potential crisis around provision of Meals on Wheels. And nationally, the charity Sustain has estimated that only around 1 in 3 local authorities are still providing Meals on Wheels to older people. And in London, this is currently 13 of the local authorities are still doing this. But we know that more of the local authorities are likely to cut that as part of their cuts due to central government slashing the funding of local government. So this is a real issue, and Sustain has pointed out that in some cases local authorities are actually giving vulnerable older people takeaway menus as a replacement for Meals on Wheels. Now, while I think it's probably financially unsustainable for local authorities to do this independently, in all cases now, given the constraints they have on their finances and the high unit cost of meals that some of the local authorities I've spoken to have highlighted about this, there is a potential for the issue of vulnerable older people not getting sufficient food provided that will only be addressed by a tragedy unless something is done. So what I was going to ask if you could look at would be whether you could establish some sort of task force in London to look at the issue of malnutrition older people, which is, as you say, the sort of estimate is around 100,000 older people in London suffering from malnutrition, specifically looking at how you can address the issue of the almost complete loss of Meals on Wheels, and looking at a sort of 21st century solution to this.
Right. Well, thanks. On Meals on Wheels, Rosie and the London Food Board are actually producing some guidance and a plan to try to help local authorities to come up with innovative ways of retaining the Meals on Wheels service, and that might be working with supermarkets, working with schools to keep the facilities going. I think what I probably better do is, since I don't have a very full briefing on it here now, what I better do is give you some more details about what that involves and how we're trying to keep food getting to people who need it in that way. You'll be familiar with the work of the social supermarkets and all those efforts. But there is a particular effort now being done on Meals on Wheels. I'd be happy to share it with you.
I'd appreciate that. And the only other point I wanted to make on this this time would be that in your last budget, it was outlined that the GLA food team's funding is going to be cut in half during the financial year beginning April 2016. Given the acute need for the work that they do in sort of coordinating and bringing together different partners, are you still intending to make this cut to their funding?
Look, I mean, Rosie and the team were okay with the budget conclusions that we came up with. They think that they can manage with that. I'm more interested in results and output than in how much we're spending as a body. they're happy with the funding that they have at the moment, and with it they're doing a huge amount of work, on capital growth, on the London food map, on trying to make sure that we tackle malnutrition in all sorts of ways, and there's obesity as well as eating amongst the elderly.
I am concerned, however, that
there's a huge amount of City Hall work going on.
That you could review at least some of that cut in light of some of the
well,
issues
yes, I mean,
they've got to deal with.
if I may, I'll take advice from the team, because at the moment they're not asking for more money. I think just spending money on it for its own sake is not necessarily the answer. The answer is to raise awareness of some of the challenges that the city faces.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you.